Too much debating, too much hating, too much faking, too much grand staging, too much handshaking, too much land taking, too much manipulating, too much you hear but you snaking, too much of a friend yet you stuck through Nathan. Complain too much instigating, too much insinuating, you too much of an agent. Celebrities too, heavenly bodies got you stargazing, dilated peoples, stark amazement, top chart chasing, your heart racing, spellbound, too much dark sayings. Am I saying too much in my paint can graffiti art, spraying too much to spark in the dark basement day, breaking too much, these mobs operate through too much ego, way too much for me, yo. Not with all the fake check-ins. Either you from the soil or you're not. And if this ain't even a half, they've displaced you engine, replaced you engine, erase you through paper, genocide engine, land session agreements, a fake space, view engine change, dates to purposely misplace you engine, X shouting, tax you on your own, land engine, you a child, not a grown woman, a grown man engine, in fact you black, you that person in all caps, on them contracts, legal fiction, non-living show, damn engine, how long will you let them debase you, deface you, on an engine, no one is coming to save you, a brave new world awaits you, engine. They intend to continue to rape and enslave you, bound to a remix of religion, a graven image that reach at the same station. They played you, engine, the same unseen hand, you just wait, can't slay you, engine. But it's the return of the ancient ones. We back. Everything they own. Hold fast, let me get that. About to rip that. Gift rap, not with rhetoric. Chit chat, shit back, go back and forth. On platforms for an intro scratch. Rich that for a Kit Kat or a Big Mac. Temporary get shipment that don't kiss back. Shit swag. We here to get our shit back. Restoration of what was overthrown. American engines, old organic gold, not provolone. Home alone, all foreigners gone. Shafati, shoot, Hebrew, Muslim, Mason, Morris, cornerstone. Fraternal orders up, harsh Rome. You know substantial foundation, flawless zone. Bottomless pit up, broken promises. Home through landlines or cordless phones. Lines like ley lines, aligned with constellations. Rocks cry out till the land, till the soil is gone and corn is grown. The war is on. My words won't. Show. With all farms off the land. That includes all you corporations, all you different nationalities. Anything that isn't American engine, need to get the fuck on. We ain't playing this time. We understand exactly what y'all motherfuckers did. Akichiwa. Indigenous resistance. Warrior spirit. Turtle Island. This is for my peoples. Jah. Too much debating, too much hating, too much faking, too much grand staging, too much handshaking, too much land taking, too much manipulating, too much you hear but you snaking, too much of a friend yet you stuck through Nathan. Complain too much instigating, too much insinuating, you too much of an agent. Celebrities too, heavenly bodies got you stargazing, dilated peoples, stark amazement, top chart chasing, your heart racing, spellbound, too much dark sayings. Am I saying too much in my paint can graffiti art, spraying too much to spark in the dark basement day, breaking too much, these mobs operate through too much ego, way too much for me, yo. Not with all the fake check-ins. Either you from the soil or you're not. And this ain't even a half. They've displaced you, engine, replaced you, engine, erase you through paper. Genocide, engine, land session agreements, a fake space. View, engine, change dates to purposely displace you, engine. X shouting, tax you on your own. Land engine, you a child, not a grown woman, a grown man engine. In fact, you black, you that person in all caps on them contracts. Legal fiction, non-living show. Damn, engine, how long will you let them debase you, deface you? Oh, and engine, no one is coming to save you. A great new world awaits you, engine. They intend to continue to rape and enslave you, bound to a remix of religion. A graven image that reset the same station. They played you, engine, the same unseen hand. You just wait, can't slay you, engine. But it's the return of the ancient ones. We back. Everything they own. Hold fast, let me get that. Out to rip that. Gift rap, not with rhetoric. Chit chat, shit back, go back and forth. On platforms for an itch or scratch. Rich stack for a Kit Kat or a Big Mac. Temporary kid shipment that don't kiss back. Shit swag. We here to get our shit back. Restoration of what was overthrown. American engines, old organic gold, not provolone. Home alone, all foreigners gone. Shafati, shoot, Hebrew, Muslim, Mason, Morris, Cornerstone. Fraternal orders of harsh Rome. You know substantial foundation, flawless zone. Bottomless pit of broken promises. Home through landlines or cordless phones. Lines lay lines, aligned with constellations. Rocks cry out till the land, till the soil is gone and corn is grown. The war is on. My word's born. Show. With all farms off the land. That includes all you corporations, all you different nationalities. Anything that isn't American engine, you need to get the fuck off. We ain't playing this time. We understand exactly what y'all motherfuckers did. Akichiwa. Indigenous resistance. Warrior spirit. Turtle Island. This is for my peoples. Jah. Too much debating, too much hating, too much faking, too much grand staging, too much handshaking, too much land taking, too much manipulating. Too much you can, but you snaking. Too much of a friend, yet you stuck through Nathan. Complain too much instigating, too much insinuating. You too much of an Asian. Celebrities too, heavenly bodies got you stargazing. Dilated peoples, stark amazement. Top chart chasing, your heart racing. Spellbound, too much dark sayings. Am I saying too much in my paint can graffiti art? Spraying too much to spark in the dark basement day. Breaking too much, these mobs operate through too much ego. Way too much for me, yo. Not with all the fake check-ins. Either you from the soil or you're not. And this ain't even a half. They've displaced you, engine, replaced you, engine, erase you through paper. Genocide, engine, land session agreements, a fake space. View, engine, change dates to purposely misplace you, engine. X shouting, tax you on your own. Land engine, you a child, not a grown woman, a grown man engine. In fact, you black, you that person in all caps on them contracts. Legal fiction, non-living show. Damn, engine, how long will you let them debase you, deface you? Oh, and engine, no one is coming to save you. A great new world awaits you, engine. They intend to continue to rape and enslave you, bound to a remix of religion. A graven image, then reset the same station. They played you, engine the same unseen hand. You just wait, can't slay you, engine. But it's the return of the ancient ones. We back. Everything they own. Hold fast, let me get that. Mouth to rip that. Gift wrap, not with rhetoric. Chit chat, shit back, go back and forth. On platforms for an itch or scratch. Rich stack for a Kit Kat or a Big Mac. Temporary contentment that don't kiss back. Shit sweat. We here to get our shit back. Restoration of what was overthrown. American engines, old organic gold, not provolone. Home alone, all foreigners don't shafati. Shoot, Hebrew, Muslim, Mason, Moorish, cornerstone. Fraternal orders up, harsh wrong. You've no substantial foundation, flawless zone. Bottomless pit up, broken promises. Home through landlines or portless roams. Lines like ley lines, aligned with constellations. Rocks cry out till the land, till the sword is gone and point is grown. The war is on. I'll rush more. When all farms off the land, and it includes all you corporations, all you different nationalities, anything that isn't American engine, you need to get the fuck up. We playing this turn. We understand exactly what y'all motherfuckers
And my music, and a lot of this music, it's only talking about the suppressed rising. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. That's all. That's what my music's about. The oppressed rising up against the oppressor. So the only people that's scared are the oppressors. The only people who can have any harm coming to them are those who oppress. Simple as that.
3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. It's time for change, gotta pause up. The oppressor's about to get tossed up. I'ma let him out, execution's down. Too late with apologetic claim. You wrapped in a cloak of blame by God, it's overdue. Your time is in the end. Locked out silent without sin. He put me on the ladder for justice to win. The oppressor's about to get rolled down. With some prisoners attached to the war zone. Revolution can start in the Arizona. I'm a messenger popping like Ericon. Backed by the honorable who sits at the pinnacle. Who judges the hypocritical, cynical, and the pitiful, sinful. My thinking is critical. I'm just ventilating of the actions of the protective service. Quick to pull the Glock, blast and kill. This don't take any type of skill. I'm ill of all citizens who haven't took a stand. Or kneels too late when the caps get peeled. Don't believe in GC type. But when it hits close to home, you gotta act the bone. When it got the dome, when it's on the zone, all red of my vision through sight. It's gonna be killed whenever I write. From above, I've been given the right. So you better be ready to ride tonight. On the way to the dawn daylight. We gon' burn them all, so gon' pass the kite. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender. 3-pound pressure, no weight lesser. Drop the oppressor, make no surrender.
This world is such a, and when I say this world, I mean it. I don't mean in an ideal sense. I mean in every day, every little thing you do. It's such a, gimme, gimme, gimme. Everybody back off. Everybody's like, you taught that from school, everywhere. Big business. You want to be successful? You want to be like Trump? Gimme, gimme, gimme. Push, 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 push. Step, step, step. Crush, crush, crush. That's how it all is. And it's like, nobody ever stopped.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? How y'all doing? ML, Floyd, Iron Baby Rosada, Tariq, Millennials Best, Iron Baby, I got you. Dion, Ganja, Olmec. What's happening, everybody? What's going on, beloveds? Yeah, I just want to start off with this. Nothing negative, just hopefully today I sway you to look at things a little different again. All right? Do not buy these eggs. I actually did a test on myself over I would say a 1 month and a half, maybe 1 month, 1 week period of time. So I got the black one of these because they didn't have the brown ones, and I was violently sick from eating it. You're supposed to be pasture raised, organic, bottle farm eggs. Okay. They give you a little slip. I'm gonna give you a little, just quick synopsis. And you read this, it's got little games, questionnaires, and it states all the beneficial things that you would think is good. So what I did was I usually eat 3 to 6 eggs a day, or every other day. So what I did was over this period of time with the 12, I used to buy the 24 before the fake demic. Never had an issue. The black ones are not. Do not purchase them. So it says in here, keep the eggs within the fridge. You know, keep them cool. No longer out the fridge for 3 days. Now, we used to have chickens and eggs, and our eggs could be out for a month, and we crack them in a little basket, never in the fridge. Because remember I explained to you about when it comes through the hen and it comes out, this natural thing occurs that protects it. Now, you know, people take mineral oil and rub the eggs down to preserve them, or they pickle them. I talked to a young lady. You know, most people working jobs, and some of you may have worked. All right? You know that you're no more than a puppet. They have gray books, blue books, and green books, and all that kind of nonsense. It's not like getting the paycheck. You will have the knowledge. Pay attention. You have the knowledge of what's actually going on. And so they actually spray a chemical because of the FDA. Now, you know who the heads of the FDA, one of these individuals that call themselves a Jew. We'll talk a little bit about indoctrination, what may be, what may not. So 3 eggs with a steak. My steaks are excellent. They're exceptional where they come from. And every time that I ate over the 4 periods of eating these eggs, I've gotten what seems like cold, like a flu-like symptom. Do not buy these raggedy, worthless damn eggs. Now, I have associates of mine who I know in New Jersey, Florida, Quakers, an Amish, who had a fake ass, excuse my language, had fake government proxies go in there. Now, those individuals, I asked them, I said, did y'all take pictures of their faces? You'll know who the stupid Satanists, the deep state, by looking at these individuals. Now, you don't pull away from anybody willing to do something that is impractical and moral, because every agency, there are people who take the oath to this Constitution. Now, you know there's another one. And the Amish aren't fluoridated, yet they have a religious doctrine. Now, they have their wagon drive-by shootings and thugs and so forth. And he informed me that they wanted them to, at a period of time, get rid of all their produce and their cows, and you know, they grow their cheese and their milk doesn't have that RSVTB, whatever it's called, that chemical that the UK doesn't use. You know, none of them. Feels like Queensberry rules for boxing, and yet we don't get to do it. You know, we got to stand by it while they play dirty. This so-called government. I don't even like saying the word government because it alludes to something else. I'm not against government. I don't care about government. Their government means nothing to me yet. What you see going on, it further shows you the dilapidation, the deliberate breakdown of society. And what's mind-boggling is all these so-called black folks who are liberals. I don't care about the pale-skinned ones. They're mindless, meaningless puppets. They have no idea. They consummate the relationship with the lie because it befits them, and anything external It's not downing on the light skinned brothers and sisters, it's just a fact. And you're definitely not like us. And not to be sounding like Kendrick Lamar. We were saying you're not like us before that song came out. There's a reason why it was utilized. It's not like it's a new statement or saying. It's just the frame that it was utilized. Because this is some real stuff. Now, I'm not giving it energy. I'm not deliberating. I'm actually looking at what to state and say. To be careful for your sake, not to have you all up frolicking, but some other people are noticing that with other legs, but they're not noticing it with the garbage eggs. Lucerne, farm raised, but not free range. Like, we're not getting it from that. Well, you've got so much synthetic stuff in you and so many chemicals. They're just keeping a balanced line. And as long as you take using that stuff, and if you go out to the things that are better, well, this caustic stuff. Who is creating the chemicals that they spray on the eggs? It's not the companies. Because I asked her, do y'all make the chemical that you use that they're provided by the FDA, the statement that you had to use by the FDA? No. Then why would you put something on something natural knowing how it performs? Or is it that y'all are mindless and they didn't teach you? And now we go into this part right here. And it's not to beat up on nobody, but sometimes you have to put your foot down. I look at my aunts and uncles, and not all, and many of you, when I'm talking about those born in the late 40s and 50s, who ended up going to Vietnam and, Korean War in Vietnam. Now, you heard what I said about teachers and preachers and all this other stuff. I pointed out to you what's an elder. They have failed us in more extreme ways, because every time I look at what was going on in order to keep us in a straight and narrow line was more about hate, violence, and you would say that it's about protection. Wouldn't protection be telling the truth historically in the situation, making everybody aware, all the younglings, about banking system instead of cooperating with it to have a safe life? See, I have aunts and uncles who went to bring children into this world and in a mundane way ignore the past of what they were enlightened to and accepted the role that they had to play during the summer of love and chemical suppression, As long as their children got everything they can give as far as the materialistic world. As far as that of knowledge, and I thank goodness for Uncle Gary. My Uncle Gary. I had a couple of brothers who got to talk to him. He's in Detroit. He's 80-something years old. Listen, and he's like a giant of a man, you know what I'm saying? Of a being. Dude, I have nothing to lie for. And we always embark on this word love. Yet nobody really knows what it is. I've expressed that it's a reversal. And I know it's hard to accept that, because when you do something over and over and over and over and over, you know where I'm going with the gist of this. I had to say this to protect some of you, because y'all mental. I don't want it to be confused. It's not about hate. The truth. It seems like everybody's throwing flea flickers. You know what I mean? Just to get to the next, 5 or 10 yards. And never getting that touchdown. And missing the field goal. And I look at the world they live in, the travels and all the fun. I've got family members who have a bucket list. That is sad. That is disturbing. To embark on something that was on King of the Hill, going back to the 1950s and 60s. Mark Wahlberg or Morgan Freeman, Danny Glover, and what's the other actor's name? A bucket list. To slave for a government that's never nowhere around, never benefiting you. That is about destruction. And people can't see it. And we're talking about the dumbest and the weakest individuals. Kamala Harris is not strong. She is not intelligent nor smart. That's the flea flicker for them. And people are arguing and fighting over this idiot. People have more hope in one individual than they do all the people around them. How did we get to this despairing way? And someone say, well, what do you teach your children? Well, I had a wife who was a nasty, ugly individual, a liar. I'm not saying this to be mean. The truth always must be relevant. Just like my brother's wife, who came to me when I was in the Bronx attempting to get my life together after I realized the family was crazy and this, that, and the other. You got all kind of people around that I never really consummated a relationship. I don't like having crackheads under me and this, that, and the other. Who came to me because her brother was cheating on her again. Didn't want nothing to do with her. This ugly individual I didn't like anyway. No hate. Flat. I never really looked at her body, but I used to listen to my sisters who wanted to jump on her when I came home one time from the military. And Dave and Buster, I wasn't going to spend no money. Didn't want her to know anything about what I had. My hustles, guardian angels, security, bodyguard, nothing. I didn't want her to have no knowledge. So I would make sure that she was going to pay for this. Because she was a very nasty individual. Yet, because I am, at that time, I was a very concerned and caring individual. And like, what's going on with here? And I didn't even know that my brother had done this 2 or 3 times. Maybe he wanted to run back out and be with a big booty hole and smoke crack. I don't know. It seems like the people who are deviants and do these things, it's not bad-mouthing my brother. I'm speaking truth. And many of you know this, and many of you've been there, many of you've partaken and done this. Okay? And when it was all said and done, I remember talking to my brother, he just wasn't, he was playing it off, going to visit him working at Penn Station in New York. Well, at the, what you call it? And I remember calling her, and I remember he says, you know, he had a motorcycle car, and I remember calling her and says, so the Lexus and the motorcycle, I says, why don't you give it to me? I had Jamaicans, some Jamaican brothers who I adore wholeheartedly, and a brother who was from Ghana, my right-hand brother, and another brother who was Mexican and Puerto Rican. These are people who I considered family, and I still do. They reach out every once in a while. What's going on, Red? Yo, Khalif, Red Wolf, you know? And respect them. And my Arab homie, who was, he's Cuban, Cubano, and Lebanese. Man, he always tried to get me with his sister, Raw, and she was beautiful, but I just wasn't feeling it. Beautiful. I was like, no, bro. You know, I was to myself, college, school, and you know, mitigating things at night, going out to patrol the streets, D-Train and Brooklyn and Harlem, Spanish Harlem, and, you know, it was rough. And I was going to get the vehicle and the motorcycle because I figured he was going to leave her so that way she couldn't do nothing nasty because I've seen it over and over and over. Me, I'll walk away from everything. I'll leave every shoe I got except for the pair on my feet. If it's flip-flop slides, that's the only thing I'll leave with them. And people are like, well, you ain't gonna think about all that stuff you left? Go get it if you want it. And when he finally went back, I guess, I don't know, she told him, this is how nasty this thing is. I tried to hit on her. The only women I was dating were Puerto Rican. And Colombian. Not a preference, it's just the ones I was around because my circle was different. They had a little more into art, the Momo, this, that, and the acting. At the gyms. The sisters were all out in the streets acting retarded. Only a couple of sisters who I actually dealt with were Jamaican. In New York, well, the Jamaican ones. That was it. I didn't meet any people. I didn't meet the sisters at Noonan that had the knowledge like I had. Even when I was out there looking at goofy Sonetta and knowing the background because of certain members of the Panthers and party, the meetings I used to go to, I'm not a Black Panther. And then I used to ask them, what's this with the Islam? What's going on here? When did this change? You know, it's like us, the Republicans, becoming liberals, Democrats. Like, what's the mind? And the church plays a major role in this. And I remember he was calling me, how you tried to talk to him. I was like, nigga, you the one out there cheating. I'm not the one out here running around sleeping with women. I can count on one hand the women that I gave my time to. One was crazy as fuck. The other was a cheater and a liar because the two Puerto Ricans. The Cuban one was violent, but she wouldn't hit me. But I always had to go and beat up somebody because I could have ended up unalive. Well, at that time. Because she's just violent. I had a Spanish Harlem. I think she had a little Haitian in her. Beautiful. Dark skin, but, you know, long hair. You know how they are when they get that genetic change from the new offsprings. The other one was Chinese and Jamaican. Wow. And you know, and we don't even want to talk about Ursula Weber, a straight up nutcase in high school. Now, this is not talking about the magnificent woman in Germany. She was, y'all say mulatto, but she was melanated, about my complexion, of German stock, like the ones that married in my family. And then the one in Brazil, that was a magnificent accident because every time I went to Brazil, I stayed with the family. You know, I didn't like going to all the. I went to the pussy in Palestine in the 80s, all the way up to I think 1920. There was a strip club in Tel Aviv called the Pussycat, and in Brazil there was a place we called the Pink Pussy. Now you know who runs it. The Portuguese and the so-called Jews are the same damn individuals, regardless of identity and language. This is how they insert themselves everywhere and raise up these people they nurtured, just like Kamala, to do the things they do. And it was a circle that you go in, and downstairs is if you want to pay, which is expensive for sex. I was never about that, but I had to go see it. So in 87, 86, 87, I went there and saw that, and I was like, what kind of nonsense is this? So in Brazil, there was the Pink Pussycat. I went there and there was live sex shows while you're eating and drinking. I was like, nope, can't do this. So I remember going out to the beach. And there's something in the trees, the air over there. I don't know what chemicals that. Oh, it's hypersexualization there, y'all, for real. Like, it affects you too. You're there long enough. Because I went there on my own, just to be with her for like a month. You know, and I knew I had to come back. I didn't do the visa thing and all that when she had my baby and everything. And I always made sure I sent her money and da-da-da-da-da. I can't say how I did it because I didn't want the government and everybody all in my business. And they would come here. And that was the most magnificent thing. And visit me, and I would never let family and people, nobody meet her. I'd show pictures, tell stories, and all that kind of stuff. And she's whoop, 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 my daughter. Anyway, and strong as an ox, built like a, you know, and I'd be like, man, I'd be putting out the magnificent ones. But anywho, like I said, pretty much one hand, you know what I'm saying? Maybe a few. That's me. About 60. So many women. But looking for real relationships. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, his wife is ugly to me. I'm not being mean. Like, the mentality with my grandma, everybody had to say about her, I saw. What makes anybody think I want to be with something like that? And for him, it showed me that he wasn't wrapped too tight. Drugs do their part. They do their damage. No, man, that's my bro. And I always held back. I would never be violent. Now there was times when I get drunk and let go, and I'm the kind of drunk that was wanting to go to sleep. Couldn't even stand up on one foot. Mindless two. You know what I'm saying? Mind you, two. Blackout. That's what my nickname was. So I look at how we got to this way. I look at the abuse. I look at the whippings. I look at the pain and the hardships that allowed this. Yet I asked myself, why is it that we have to be the ones to correct this phenomenon of loss? This ideation of false history. I remember sitting with my grandmother, 90 years old, in my aunt's house, chefing, keeping her company, changing her, whatever I had to do. She was a nurse, and it's my grandma. She wiped my ass. You see what I'm saying? So to take care of the woman who gave me a better part of my life and allow me to garden and see things, regardless of the angst, I can interpret better now the pain. I can put words, vibration, and frequencies to what was going on. So I'm not casting blame. When you get to a certain stage, there must be some remembrance to be able to say, and you all want to hear this. This is why I'm saying this. I don't need to. But I'm going to use me as the first person. Jimmy, I've watched your videos. I've heard what you said. I've always mistaken and misquoted. And I want to apologize because I didn't know no better either. There was not like no guidebook. There was no handbook. But see, I don't need that. Many of you probably do. When you start emptying everything, you realize that you don't need something else, something new, based on the nothing of what we've existed in. That's why I see I might be able to give something beneficial. Now, I'm stubborn, and I really didn't want to do all this, which I've been doing over the last 4 or 5 days. I'd rather come on here cursing and going crazy and acting and reading the books and doing, but y'all really do not understand y'all's ideation. That means your selective reasoning of time. Good or bad. Ideation can be either way. I mean, think about it. Serial killers have this ideation for what they do, and this government has this ideation for it regardless. And some people in their narrative, because they have so much fiat, yet they're unhappy and put up false smiles. Imagine having millions of dollars and always unhappy, but you have to walk around people and they see the money, so you have to put out this external consortium, right? So there was a point in time when I sought that from all the relatives. Talking with my Uncle Gary Lee assisted me in removing that tarnished narrative from my mind. So I don't seek it. Does it mean I hold them responsible? Wouldn't it be better to hold myself responsible to clear things up? Does it mean I gotta make it right in narrative, as far as the narrative and correction with them? No. I didn't come into this world by myself. I came in with legions of brothers and sisters who have been divided and separated, who will make war with me, against me, unknowingly. You see it today. You see it. Do you see the importance of the embetterment, not the embattlement? The embetterment, not the embattlement, excuse me. Again, the betterment of self, not the embattlement of self. Are y'all starting to realize what I'm saying about emptying yourself to remove all this dynamic? And dynamic doesn't mean good. It's like when I used to battle the dynamic breakers. It was supposed to be suspenseful, but there's another side to it where dynamic can be an infusion of no good, bad, what we think bad is. All right? Somebody said, well, how can you read the delectable Negro? It's knowledge. Do I have to circumvent and navigate this thing that bring emotions to the surface that goes when that person, the individual who, I don't know, that's about knowledge. Is it based upon truth or lie? I don't know. How do you reconcile? How do you reconcile? How do you reconcile the information that is pretty indicative to truth? Who and what's truth, right? Why do we always have to stay in a lie? So I was sitting there this morning upstairs, and I was like, is it a lie that I don't want them to to apologize, or is it because I know they're unable to? I realized I didn't care. You have a big family. If you want to use the term family, you have this big orchestra. You have this big labyrinth of life all around. And I'm not saying because of that you run out and start hey and grabbing hands and hugging, and no. A lot of you need to be doing that to yourself, and you don't. I see it. The phone was off. It was like a 10%. Let me turn this thing off, because I left it off all night. And it actually was in the room. I like to put it in another room away from me. At least put it 20 meters away from me, right? So anyway, I turned it off and charged it. But before that, I set up. It charged pretty quick. I set up this live. And then I took it down. And so I let it charge up, and I went ahead and I turned it on. It was about at 80%. And I set it up, and then I turned it off and plugged it in so it could charge all the way up. And I went about getting my chlorophyll water. I grabbed the egg, so I know I wanted to discuss that and put that out there just to let you know. And I said I'm going to come downstairs today, and I'm going to entertain you guys. I'm going to really get into read, because I know I've been saying it, and I really haven't, because there's some things that are more pertinent and more important. Not saying what I've been reading is not. I know that a handful actually are really paying attention to what I read. Okay? It's not a competition. Somebody reached out. Yo, that guy who does the, what is it called? I got to go in here. It's on this one. It's on this different account, and I can't log in because I got rid of a lot of accounts. On the information guy or whatever, I was like, dude, I was sharing all that information and telling people there's much more you go out there and research. So don't do that. Stop making comparisons. Enjoy the information and knowledge. He's got like 200 and something thousand. Okay. So you subscribe. Good. Pay attention to what you're sharing. You didn't know me on MySpace and AOL and the chats when they first started, and Logbook, which was very short. I was sharing family and history when I was in New York, when I was in Jersey, and when it first became something over 20 years ago. It's not about a competition. This has been my life due diligence. Getting beaten in the coat room of the elementary school. Excuse me. I told you, Miss Winston was ferocious. She lived right on Wall Street, where I was in the first two Nightmare on Elm Street movies. So Elm Street, right around the corner from my uncle on Walnut Street, excuse me, in the big yellow house. She used to take me in the closet. You can't say that words. And for them, whipping a child, a youngling, was natural. And it wasn't. I looked into the history of it. That was something that was never our way. It started with our great and our grands. Well, our greats, and grands. For those of us who were born in the late 50s and 60s and mid and early 60s. She take that big iron. Women's hand was different, bro. Their hands was big and strong. And it was just like, you ever seen that movie, a Marvel, when the Hulk, Bruce Banner, David Banner, or whatever his name, he goes up there and meets the woman who does the Doctor Strange stuff, and she pops the soul out that mofo and talks to it. That's the kind of, it's cool, and you're looking at her holding you, and then you slap back in your body, and you like a, you know what I mean? Like, what? Listen, it was beyond the pain of it. I ain't never had no dude hit me that hard. Mama Tina whooped me one time, made me walk, get the switch. After she told me to leave the red fox alone. I went and got that switch, a little switch about this big. Now I'm a little tight. She said, I told you to leave that damn fox alone. That red fox, that's why she named me Home on the Shoulder. Just like that, Home on the Shoulder. I walked out there all the way in the backyard. The fox is looking at me. Way out. He's scared to get, because I think Mom, it could read something. I don't know. I got that little ass twig. And she said, I'll take the leaves off. She didn't see it was a little thing. I went like this. I'm walking backwards. I ain't never been whooped by my great grandma. I turned around. She said, turn around and give me that switch. I turned around. She walked me back out there. I think my arm left my body. She grabbed this thing out the ground. She went like this, and it was about three, four leaves on the tip of it. I feel bad for every horse with a jockey on its back. I was in my drawers. She had me pull my britches off. I was in my drawers. And she hit me 3 times, and that thing curled around and hit my teeth. That was the first and only time she ever whipped me. And she got on her knees. She hugged me. She cried so hard, and she says, I gotta break this. And I remember looking over her shoulder, and the red fox, this is New Jersey, Grove Street, not that far from Lackawanna Plaza, the big overhang bridge train that used to turn around high in the sky that we had built long ago. And it stood there and turned his head and ran off, and I never saw that red fox again. I don't even know if there's any red fox in Jersey anymore at all. I think they were messengers, and I believe the enemy had to kill them off without nobody knowing. You see how they are. They're killing coyotes and foxes like it ain't nothing. Because there's a beast of burden, a burden of nature. The burden to nature, excuse me. Beast of burden, burden to nature, okay? And now I look at us. I look at you. The confliction. The stagnation. And I see the mental desperation. But nobody really putting forth to make change. Still stroking egos. Still in competition. Still arguing and fighting about nothing. Making something. You're giving energy to the enemy. And you're giving, how you say, reverse energy to yourself. You're rechargeable. And you're not even plugged in to be recharged. And they're doing it to themselves unknowingly. In the more worst way. They're compromised and they can't even accept it. Now, you do not need to have an understanding of the perversions of what they do. From Ellen DeGeneres and Will Smith and all of them wearing a shirt with the baby looking like that hand from Survival with Tom Hanks, you know, baby that's face is really a real, I have the video, it's a real baby that's face was removed and bludgeoned and it was literally part of the Pizzagate thing. It really, really is. I can't show a video on here. Just like I can't show you the ones with the bodies, the human bodies being harvested and ground up with meat. Can't put it up. You can't handle it. You can't. I don't care if you watch Gore TV. Most of you need to leave that stuff alone. You're not dark. You're not Shana. Stop. Don't take my advice either. But that's what most of you do anyway. I'm going to read something. Okay? Maybe a benefit and assist some of you. You need to stop being in competition, and you don't have to be in competition with yourself. You have always been ordained to establish. I don't care who or what you think you are. We are beyond the we Indian shit. That's a made-up narrative in itself. I'm not even going to let you know about that. When you think about indigo, what the color is, and everything else, it just means the original people of the continent when they say Indian. And most people who aren't may have, because we all knew each other, man. I'm not going to continue to do this. Some of you have to consummate the relationship with that. They're perverted. They don't know the truth of history. You ask any Native American what's your blood type, and they were told never to say what it is because it's not of this land. As a nurse, I'm able to see. They've all been to the doctors. All of them had blood drawn. All of them know what their blood type is. And there's something there that is steeped in truth. The African and the Negro, though many of our people went to Africa, and those are the cowards and the ones weak and the ones who are subjugated. And you see it. You see the people doing the dances and this, that, and the other. You see their faces. You can see them. But you got to remember, we had brothers on all four corners and sisters. Sisters and brothers on all four corners. Now people in ignorance. You look at these new age niggas in the military, right? Negroes and niggas. And they go to war and they're killing melanated people and only know they're killing their own relatives because they're too stupid. They're too busy trying to sound like Tom, Bill, and Roy Boy. You listen to y'all, some of y'all talk about that today. Hey, look, and I'm like, all right, it's bad enough our women are putting this stupid synthetic for straight hair. You look doofy. Makeup where it look like you got yellow plutonium cake powder on your face, where your arms is brown or dark. What the? And I've seen that all over in Africa and Jamaica. Stop. When you're so magnificently beautiful, you're there. I want to read the chakras to you again. I just want you to pay attention, all right? There's 7. As far as the narrative go, when you're one big chakra, source, energy, light, illumination, okay? So, I want to start here. The chakra system is the title, and this is out of the Science of the Sacred Secretion. I have other books, but I think this is more than, I think this is good enough for you. The chakra system is the title given to the collection of energy centers within the body. So it's just a title given to the system. I mean, you can call it anything you want, I guess, if you want to. These are responsible for the colors and buoyancy of a person's unique aurora. So you give off this thing, and you give it away as frequency, okay? Which can be felt and sometimes even seen by others. Your cat does not see you. For those who have cats, and even your dog, they don't see you first. They see your aura. You ever walk up to your cat and they start zipping by you? Because they're conflicted. Why is your energy different today? Why is it that some dogs will walk up to you and they'll be growling and they really want your comfort, but they're aware of what's going on with certain individuals? Fear. And they'll let you pet their head. And then there are times when they turn around after that, they bite you. Because you're fluctuating in a way that's resonating in a bad position. And to them, they have memory of their predecessors. That means they mammy, they pappy, and they mammies, pappies, and mammies. All right, before. Those done wrong, the memories of energy over those killed and hit by cars with teens laughing, it goes into these creatures. Just like all the information of those before you goes into you. But the enemy has to take you as a baby, and they created a system to cut you off from it. And pain does it too. Anyway, the main chakra system is an alignment of 7 energy centers that run down the central nervous system, the spine, Jacob's ladder, 33 vertebrae. Each point of energy radiates a particular color and is strengthened by specific organs and plexuses of nerves, as well as thoughts and actions that are linked. Now you know why they have to do what they do to the food to disrupt your B vitamins. And all your minerals, as far as, you know, your, how do you say, iron and copper and zinc, and so all the minerals, selenium, which is a form of metal, and everything, because it affects your nerves. Which most people get anxiety and schizophrenia and all that kind of stuff. Okay, aluminum, you know. Too much of anything is a bad thing. Mercury, lead, which is comprised of you, but off balance. So anyway, the actions that are linked to this, by way, all right? Further details on how to align and balance these energy centers are provided within Chapter 5. But for now, the details below should suffice. No, I'll read Chapter 5 later on in its entirety. And we have to finish the other one I was reading. But I just want to read the chakras to you. You have the crown chakra. This chakra vibrates violet, which is a form of purple, right? It's centered at the top of the head and is associated with the spirituality. Now, mind you, you have the frontal lobe, you have the cerebellum, you have the pineal, right? And it seems like it's a cross. Have you been paying attention? For those who are artists, you make the oval and you make the little half egg and then you make the line like this. Have you ever paid attention that this dead center where the pineal is, the cross, which is the Christ factor of the crown, the chakra, violet, which is purple. Yet you go into church and you look at this lying bastard called a pastor, supposed to be an elder and not, wearing purple, indigo. Subjugation of misinterpretation to make it related to something to change the dynamic of your truth, to put you outside of yourself and looking at the external to accept it and be rational, so that way you'll never really, you're compromised. You'll never really be in your truth. So this energy center acts like a funnel. Honeycomb hideout. Yeah. Transferring and receiving information from the universal energy field. It is linked to the pineal gland and the cord plexus. Remember I said when you meditate long enough, and if you look in a certain place, you sun gaze, some of you will see this thing looks like a honeycomb or a cobweb that goes up or goes down. Information, but you don't know what you're receiving nor what to send to receive, to better equip, to have a deeper understanding. Anyway, you need to work on that stuff. I can tell you all day what I see. It doesn't mean anything. It could be a lie for all you know. The third eye chakra. This is located in the middle of the forehead and is linked to psychic ability. It is connected. Pay attention. Forehead and is linked to psychic ability, from the cerebellum or control, to which you can manipulate in somebody by way of being in touch with both lobes of your frontal. It is connected with the color indigo and controls the pituitary glands and the optic nerves, windows to the soul, the universe. What do you think the soul is, y'all? Do you think it's this apparition? It's the universe. It's all and everything and nothing. The pineal gland is also linked with this chakra. By being connected to both the crown and third eye chakra, the pineal holds the potential to transmute energies between the spirit and physical realms of existence. It's where the knowledge controls vibration, frequencies. And all yours are dead. The throat chakra. Obviously, this blue chakra, vibrates within the throat and is responsible for communication. Remember I said, everybody says you're talking. No, you're not. This is another, because you can't do it up here, you were taught to manipulate this with your diaphragm, to create words to which we never did at one time. This way they can hear you because they can't really see. Because you can compartmentalize and hide many things and communicate. So in order for them to have these apparatuses, they had to void those truths. And that's why I was talking the first thing I did about your relatives. And the relationship is relative to you and all of us now. Relative. Relatives. When we withhold and don't speak our truth, this energy center becomes blocked. All that lying y'all do. Manifesting as physical blockages, sore throats, infections, etc. So I had the 3 eggs yesterday and I felt a little cold. Did I fret about it? Nope. I still went out and got my little, what I had to do on. I don't care. Even when my eye felt like I was getting a star last night and I was laying there and I was wondering, I'm not blowing my nose. I'm not sick. What's going on here? So they give a little disruption that they want me to focus on. To rob me? You can't rob or take nothing from me. They don't even know what or who I am. The heart chakra. This is located in the chest and is associated with giving and love. Wouldn't that be based on the feelings and emotions? That means deeper thought, concentration, indicative what? To presumption. Being able to assert and receive and give and break down knowledge from the Rolodex, to imply or employ, to act upon. It vibrates green and responds to the thymus gland and the cardiac plexus. As the bridge between the lower, the bridge between the sin. If you go and put your hertz and get a machine, and if you go to 4.32, it'll say sin hertz. The physical chakras and the higher spiritual ones, it is paramount for this chakra to remain open and full. However, due to the vast levels of trauma in modern society, this chakra is most commonly blocked. And ergo, you have emotional distress, reaction without thought. That's why a woman cannot raise a man. By yourself. I don't care who you think you nurture to raise, that young boy is who has more lives than a woman. Did your aunties and your uncles, did your mammy and pappies allude to this? Did they school you, homeschool you in this? Did they nurture you in this? They're learning this right now if they're watching me. The solar plexus. This yellow chakra sits just below the navel and is linked to the confidence and power. It is also connected to the adrenal glands and celiac plexus. Boy, my gut instincts tell me I should knock you upside your head. Now we know that's through blockage and reaction and overreaction, and it removes you from your family dynamic, your spiritual, you know what I'm saying, the pineal of being able to know which way and receive to better interpret things because you haven't been nurtured in it. So that the seventh, to me, the most important reason why women have baby, can carry the baby, and they birth it in through the greater planes of which they call pains. The root chakra. The final chakra is red. How was that thing this month, ladies? And lies at the base of the spine. It is associated with feeling safe, and only the man can protect the woman to feel safe so she can exasperate and push out her power, and grounded. Power has to be grounded. It is also part of the pelvic glands and the coccygeal plexus. These energy centers seek natural balance. They seek it. But in your confusion, how can you know the balance? Here we go with balance again. I guess y'all thought I was just saying I'm here for balance. Meant nothing. Like I had a keyword or something. Some of you are caught up in the 80s of, hold on, hold that thought for a moment. If any of them are out of sync, you will know about it through manifested pain, and mood energetically. Mood. Now, energetically, the bottom three are our lower egotistic animal selves that are responsible for keeping us alive. The heart, then, is the bridge between these lower three chakras and the higher three. Unsurprisingly, the higher three are our spiritual energy centers: Christ factor, lifted up, raised; the lower, grounded; center is the balance. A lot of us are like this. Doesn't matter which way. What were those shows in the 80s and 90s mostly, that these musicians and all of them were showing you? Lifestyles of the rich and famous. The perception of all the big houses, and look at me. This is what I do. I work in, selling homes and all that kind of stuff. And you too, these so-called powerful speakers, you too can have the Lamborghini and the Ferrari. And based on what you saw in the media or in Hollywood movies and the dynamics of it, coming all the way back from Green Acres is the place for me. Farm loving is a thing. You know what I'm saying? Da-da-da-dum. 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 Beach. The creepy and the spooky. You get where I'm coming from? Do-do-do. Andy Griffin show. And then war. Coming from there to get the big house. Everybody party tonight. Get to Miami. I gotta go to Freaknik. I gotta hit Black Beach. You have been manipulated and controlled to be outside of yourself, to seek these things that are not about grounding, humbleness, false prosperity that is not about the enlightenment and enrichment of self. Do you understand why I say the importance of emptying yourself to find nothing? Because right now, you're being dealt with as if you are nothing, because you've accepted everything that is nothing. We're going to beat that horse in the head for a while, because that horse is going to get up and run. All right? What was that? Hey, Snoo, what's up, my baby? I think I got you, baby girl. Pierre Branson, Makuba Energy. There's plenty of them. You're very correct. That's another one. Got Olmec, I got you. I just want to read some of the comments. Indigo Turtle, what's up, beloved? Say hi, at least. Okay? I bet she had an entity in her to keep you in. You know the rest. It's a number of different things. No, it's just brokenness. Blockage started a long time ago. It started the moment they stole our 42. It's funny how they was trying to talk about 12 million. We had over 42 million acres. We were the original farmers and cultivators of this land. I told you who helped R.J. Reynolds, my relatives, to cultivate tobacco he knew nothing about. Dutch West Indies, all that fake history. Listen, there's reality. We were the original Indian statues, the wooden statues on all the stores and the cigar shops. It wasn't the Mongols and this, that, and other. They can argue. It wasn't the Spanish. It's just, they're brothers and stuff and sisters, but it's just, they have a hard time accepting because they've been nurtured and alive for what? How long? Think about it. This is so-called fictional 2024 when you know it's 1023. But anyway, right? Since when? Their lives started when? Around the 40s and established in the 60s after the Korean and during the Vietnam War. World War II, forget all that code talking crap. Some of those adults were still enemies brought here. If you don't know about Wild Bill and all of them, if you don't know that narrative, you don't know that truth, I can't do nothing for you. All right? And they promised things. And then many of the children murdered and killed because they did not want to separate themselves from their true identity and that which they still knew, because they still had older sisters and brothers who came here with them still teaching them that this is not your land. And they had to get rid of them. Those bones were found not that long ago, weren't they, or were they not? And we all knew each other. We all married and before time. There's no enlightenment. How can there be enlightenment with drugs and radiation and everything else? The fact that you melanated people are very dangerous, my brothers and sisters, and they know it. They know what you're capable of doing to those gang members and all of them that came from Venezuela and Ecuador. They know what you do to them. They want that. They want to see you go on a killing spree. These people have no clue because they've been subjugated to what they've been subjugated to in their life. Some stuff ain't even getting reported. I get it through people talking about knowing what's going on. And it don't have to be no ways. It shouldn't have to because they want to kill everybody anyway. I don't like using those words, kill, and this, that, and other. But the reality of the situation, you're still there. I hope you got something from that. I hope it made some kind of sense. I really do. What was that, baby? My Miss Winston adored me, but she also had a crush on my dad. But you could tell she was one wild-looking Indian, dark as midnight, and man, she was a wonderful person. In church, she'd get up there and jigaboo, and she'd do some damn Indian dances. She was very close to her and my grandma used to hang out. My great grandma, the Millers, and all them. Come on now. I still remember our industrial schools that they talked about. See, we didn't have these faith schools. We had industrial schools, trades. And in the 60s, the 70s and 80s, they took us away from those and they created trade schools and they were giving those to foreigners, dual citizens. Unless you knew about it or you were in prison, a slave. Whether innocent, which was majority, our people were. Until it changed. And the music influenced. You don't have to thank me, but I appreciate you. Y'all can donate to the what you call it. It's beneficial to order. Y'all know I got ooh-wop. This is for books, y'all. You help me get these books, guys. It ain't gonna kill you, all right? It's not gonna hurt you, guys. If you got only 80 cents, donate it. I am really that about book. These are not even all. This is like not even nowhere near. This is like you see these two rows right here, and the ones under there, the ones over there, and the ones on the table over there. All the ones under my bed. No, that's nothing. I've got a storage facility. But it's important because all this has got to go down there, and yeah, they know that I got to empty this place out. I need to sell everything. I'm not going to be doing no cleanup and all that. When everything is out, then I do the cleanup. I had a guy come in and see the carpets. I told him I didn't want the carpets in there, but you know they're stupid. And then I'm out. I probably won't be doing none of this. I don't care about this. I really don't. You know? Yeah, baby, that's a high melanin, purple, dark brown, black, purple, it's green, you know. Hey, Pure Branson, honor to you, beloved. Oh, Matt, it's good to see you up here. My baby girl. That's right, put it in there. Pine cone. A lot of people say, why do I have these all around my house? Do you know when you get these and they're closed? I always get them when they're closed. And then when I bring them in here, they open up within an hour. It means the blossoming of knowledge. That means more than that, but that's more than enough for you. Why giant bells exist and they destroy and hide them? Because exactly. Melted them down for war. It was a slap in the face, you know? Organs were destroyed because they heal and they resonate when we come together and we You ever saw in Matrix when they're all sitting there and the robot's supposed to be coming, but they're all dancing and swaying together like an orgy? No. You saw Avatar when they're around the mother tree, the grand trees, right? You see the Sufi Muslims. Sitting together, Indian style. These are based on frequencies. You see the Turks spinning. And they have this thing of blouse that's about frequency and design. Do y'all know these things? It's deeper than that, but I can't really go into all that. You know? Why doing the ohms is so vital to your experience. You can sit here in your room. You can go like this. Hold on. I got to do it right. Right there's the break. Here we go. Ganja, Olmec, all the guys who have come here with me, who have done this with me, can assist you and tell you it takes a few times to get everybody in the singularity. And what happens is they don't even know it. And I'm watching. There's a connection. And we fine-tune ourselves, and they don't realize that it's natural. So there's no reason to look at it, to divide it, to experiment. And there's a reason why I do that with them. So when they see and it happens, you would say it's magical. But then you must know that when you look at certain things, in order, you have to be guided to see things differently. And what happens to the body? Tingling, numbness, all kind of things, because your infrastructure has been kind of robbed a little bit. Okay? So I just wanted to do that one. I can't sit on here and do all that. But yeah. Yes, Annie. Yes, it does. Everything is balanced. That's right. Enemy wants you to believe. Chakra is the lowest, frequency is the highest. Told you, if you want to destroy the virus that causes your so-called, it's not called, they call it cancer. No, that's the thing, that the membrane and everything that goes around and circles and contains the virus. Then the idiots come in, they're not about healing, and they cut it open, they biopsy it, and they spread the poison. Then they go, oh, look, it's getting worse. These sick bastards who don't know what's going to happen to them in the end. I would advise them to change if they're watching. If not, fuck it, stay where you're at. Stay the biochemist and everything else that you are. Anyway, and then they radiate it and cause it to spread like wildfire. Oh my goodness. Man, I'm so sorry. He's got 5 more months, maybe. 100,000 to 300,000. Between those frequencies, destroy them viruses. Even though I'm in sperm, hold the spark. You're damn right it does. And I got a lot of spark to give. And I'll probably end up, I won't. Oh well, not my loss. Distracted and looking outward and not seeking within. Exactly. And spread it purposely and forgiveness. Targeted by the enemy. Exactly. Thank you, honey. Thank you, sis. Appreciate you. Appreciate everyone. And our peanut butter on the pine cones to feed the squirrels. All the time. All the time. All the time. And get the natural one. Just get the natural one that's got the oil. That's it. Or blend it up yourself if you can actually. Somebody asked me about the cashews. Listen to me. There are really cashew trees that grow real cashews. Yet there are places in Hindustan, just like fake watermelon and bananas and this, that, and the other coming out of China and all these other perversions, that people are enslaved, y'all. Okay? Then people are taught hate. There's There are people making cashews that are nothing but pure chemically mixed batches of nothing. So be careful and mindful when you're buying Planters garbage peanuts with all that messed up salt on it that creates plaque in your system. Everything is compromised. Stop staying compromised. Raise your frequency and your energy, whatever you want to call it. Stop being a consortium for the ship and stop being afraid of fucking death. Because the cowards are the ones that are afraid, believing in a lie that they're going to be, it's going to work out well for them. I'm not here to debate all that. I'm not here to throw any more tangents about it because that's not what I'm doing. All right, I have a story to tell, and I'll change how I'm going to tell the story as well, and when. I might make it where, hey, number got there, but fuck y'all. They play the game. They'll never hear the story. You got to meet me over here. That's where you hear the story. I do it as I choose. You see, what's really in control? Because the story is going to happen regardless if I tell it or not. Michelle, now Angel, we deep in the 5th dimension. I don't know about all that. Everybody's actually in 1 dimension right now. But I hear you. I hear you. No answer, no question, none of that's wrong. Scientists say everything's spiral because the earth is spinning. That's shit. Exactly. Well, due to frequency. Exactly. Tones. Yes. All frequency. You live in... you do? In noise or in its effect, I cannot do these things. It's too loud and I'm unhappy. No, you can. But you know what? Up here where we're at, because I go to Cashapp. I got my service dog is buried at Best Friends. I volunteer and I do things I don't talk about. And I like to go to the gun range out there and talk with the guys. Get you a shovel and a broom. Dig down 1 foot. Just dig down 1 foot for you to step in. Pour a little water in there and let it get muddy. Step your damn feet in that. Close off your mind. If you got to put plugs in your ears, so be it. It's not about the external. And allow yourself to go deep into the dark abyss and look at the finger of God and the narrative of yourself. All the things they've showed you, internalize the thought to look inside yourself and just wait for it. Michelle. Ricky Panos, smoke weed, you'll be fine. Go right ahead. But how do I do what is good on the protest at the Separate of Utah? Stay away from it. Don't create something out of nothing. That's not going to do nothing for you. Charles Johnson, what's up, beloved? To be told that I can't do this or that when it's all healing and people are naive to traditional ways is called crazy. Dimension is noise frequency. No, actually, noise is what we're dealing with right now. Actually, noise is the perception of conceptualizing words based on a thought that is meaningless. Creating something out of nothing when nothing was just fine. If you have a deeper understanding, you'll come to see that. If not, it's to each his own. Like I said, only 7 to 10% are going to get it. Nothing I can do for everybody. Appreciate it. Most people don't know how to close themselves off because they're so open to everything. That's why they're in the state they're in. Well, if you practice it, and believe me, or trust me, or entrust in yourself to know that there's no reason for me to lie to you. It's not going to be a figure out. You can't figure out nothing. There is no, you've got to do it. Either you do it and you see it, or you bullshit yourself and you get exactly what you are right now. It makes me no difference. Then why are you doing it? See, the something out of nothing will never be able to free itself. I don't care about everybody that wants to hold on to something when they haven't even attained nothing. And today's going to be reading and smoking the magnificent tree. I got some good stuff. Everybody don't need to be smoking because most of you don't know what to do when you're smoking. Grabbing your chest, paranoid, looking at it, shit. You don't have musical instruments. I keep my flute. I keep a couple of things I don't talk about. That if I get to a place where I gotta bring a tune in, I unplug everything. I unplug everything because that's all noise frequency. That's like most of y'all live in places where all the chemicals and the spray foam and everything else they put in there, the asbestos or the fiberglass, it's gassing, it's outgassing, and you're being affected. Just like you took your hot shower this morning and that chlorine, because you don't have no filtration system, it's got your mind jacked. That's the real X gas. Yeah, it's that hot water, and you're bathing in your feet with your big pores. You're standing in there. That's why you can't even think straight. Just went to jail with. Okay. Isn't the 50? Yeah, exactly. I entertain actual questions that actually have meaning, unless you're playing with yourself. But I also say there's no wrong ones. You said you almost went to jail with. I don't know what that means. I don't know what jail is. Right now, everybody here is probably in their own little jail, created by your enemy. Even the AI, I can teach it some things. It doesn't learn. I can help reprogram some things if it dynamically can really break down situational things because of what the idiots have done. What I can guarantee you is, what y'all call the AI, it's not only mindless and incapable, it is derived from something other than you. That's why you need to look at self, pay attention to self, be aware of self, and attempt to stop looking outside of self. That is almost next to impossible with the majority. It is the small percentage because I don't care about the majority. Actually, I don't care about nothing. Appreciate you guys. Let me get situated for a little later here so we can get some deep reading on. And it just says what it is. When you really have no feelings about things, you'll start looking at things different. Some of you think you have no feelings and you can act a certain way. No, dead people walking is not about what you think. Feelings and emotions are real. It's congruent to who you are. It's just the fact that none of you are in touch with it. So you'll do this quasi-9 bullshit, right? Thinking you're doing something because you're not practical. You're empty, but yet full of shit. Dead escargot, seashells, bits and pieces. Even they have memory, but you don't. Anyway, appreciate you guys. Don't play where you're not supposed to play. Trust me. Women, ladies, men, brothers. See y'all here in a little bit. You motherfuckers are.